Hello guys, this is Gamer of Knowledge and More, Gamer of Knowledge, Go Camp, or just Fred, if you want to go by my real name, back with another video. Today, I'm doing another Magic the Gathering Commander deck, and today's is going to be based on Sephara, Sky's Blade. She is an angel who costs 4 of any and 3 white, with the power and toughness of 7. She has an alternate cost of you may pay a white and tap 4 untapped creatures you control with flying rather than pay this spell's mana cost. She has flying and lifelink, and other creatures you control with flying have indestructible. So the way that I decided to build it is with flying creatures, because of that alternate mana cost, or alternate pain cost. And so I'm going to start this off with the cost that can give me mana or land, or anyway. So the first one is going to be Pilgrims Eye. It is a artifact creature who costs 3 of any. It has the power and toughness of 1. It has flank, so already it can help out with getting her out faster. And it has a enter the battlefield effect where you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then you shuffle your library. So it can, if you didn't have a land in your hand and you didn't have your land drop for turn, he can get it out for you. And the other one is Grappler Ori. This is similar to what I have in the Gitrog monster, where it's the same in the Gitrog because it costs 4 of any, and it says each player may play an additional land on each of their turns, and at the beginning of each player's upkeep, if that player has no cards in hand, they draw 3 cards. So it can help us go deeper into our deck to get more lands. And I do have some other cards like Cartographer, who is like some Simulacrum, except it's in white and it doesn't have a death trigger. Next is some creatures that have flying and are very cheap. They will mostly do the same except for one. These are Kitesail Scout, Avon Skirmisher, I think that's how I pronounce it, and Healer's Hawk. They are all creatures with the mana cost of 1 white, and they all have the power and toughness of 1. They all have flying except Healer's Hawk. It has flying and lifelink. So as long as you keep hitting your land drops, you can get them out. You can get all 3 out as early as turn 2. Next is some creatures that trigger when creatures enter the battlefield. Since this is a flying creature heavy deck, or tries to be anyway. The first one is Soul's Attendant, and I do run the other one in the deck. So Soul Warden, I think. It's a human cleric for 1 white mana, with a power and toughness of 1. It has whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you may gain 1 life. Now the difference between this one and the other one is that she does a may, and I think the other one is you have to gain 1 life. I think anyway. Yeah, she's a you gain 1 life. Now you may gain 1 life. And the other one is Dax's Blessed by the Sun. He costs 2 white mana with the power of 2 and the toughness of star. So for him, the star is its toughness is equal to my devotion to white. So for each white in the mana cost of permanents I control counts towards my devotion to white. So if I have him and my commander out, that means that my devotion to white is 5, since he has 2 in his mana cost, and Sephara has 3 in his mana cost. So that means that he'd have the toughness of 5. And he has the effect of whenever another creature you control enters the battlefield or dies, you gain 1 life. So for an extra mana, you get someone who is slightly stronger in power and is most probably slightly stronger in toughness, has a better effect. And he is also a you have to gain the life. Next is some cards that which can create flying token creatures. The first one we'll mention is Spirit Bonds. It's an enchantment for 1 of any and a white mana. It says, whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay white. If you do, put a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying onto the battlefield. And you can pay 1 and a white to sacrifice a spirit to give target non-spirit indestructible until end of turn. So normally this would give you more flying creatures, but it also gives some sort of protection. Another one I'll mention is Hangerback Rocker. It doesn't give you the tokens right away, but over time it can. It's a artifact creature construct for XX. So it enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. So what that means is that for every 2 I put into it, it gets 1 counter. So if I put in 10 counters, then that means if I put in 10 mana for it altogether, that means that I'm putting 5 counters on it. 5 for one of the 5 for one of the Aegis and 5 for the other. It has, when it dies, put a 1/1 colorless Doctor artifact creature token with flying onto the battlefield for each counter on him. And you can pay 1 and tap it to put a +1/+1 counter on him. So that's what I meant by over time. Next is some protection for the commander, and this is also where Spirit Bonds could also go. The first one is Aegis. Is it Aegis? Aegis Angel? I don't really know. She costs 4 of any and 2 white. She has a power and toughness of 5. She has flying, and when it enters the battlefield, another target opponent gains indestructible for as long as you control this card. So she's a nice form of protection for the commander. And next is who I like to consider my gamer approval card. So this is the card that I'm approving out of all the cards, which is Aldrich Lunas Marshall. And I'm not doing it because he's from Innistrad, like my Planeswalker, but he has, for the purposes of this deck mainly, is that he can somehow give my commander indestructible, and he can give my commander indestructible because at the beginning of each combat he gives creatures I control certain keywords if I control at least 1 creature with that keyword, like flying or indestructible. And since she'll be giving my flying creatures indestructible, because of him, all my creatures will be getting indestructible. Next, the last thing I want to mention is cards that help protect me. So, Spirit of the Heath is a flying creature that costs 4 venny and 2 white. She has power 4 and toughness 5, and she gives me hexproof. So I can't be the target of spells or abilities my opponents cast. So that protects me from spells and targets. Next is Blazing Archon, who is a creature for 6 of any and 3 white. It has flying and creatures can't. It says creatures can't attack you. It also has the power 5 and toughness of 6. So with those two out, my opponents can't attack me or target me with spells and abilities. So that is it for the deck profile dice. That is it for the profile, guys. Thank you for watching. If you want to check out my profile, not my profile. If you want to check out my social medias, I'll link them in the description below, as well as the pinned comment. Until next time, bye.